Well, we were gonna try and go to a nursery to get plants for the pretty garden, and we called a few of them and they're closed. Or they're only open to wholesalers, things like that. I guess because of all this pandemic stuff, it's just easier for them to do that. So instead we decided to make a trip to the box store, and we'll see what they have. I'm out with the ELB today. Look, you can't see her anyway. And we're gonna get some plants here at a couple of box stores.
Coneflower.
Dragon's breath.
I do like the color. This would be pretty for out front. It smells really good. But it has hearts on it.
Get pretty ones. That one's ugly.
Well, it looks pretty. The one that that's what I saw. And then you pull it out and that's under the shelf. But they might all be like that because sunshine. Like a double. Now these are 15 because they're a little smaller. See, I think with the white and the light purple, I think we'll be okay. If we got one of these that's a little taller, would that help make it? To see the little ridges, I think is what I want, because that will help. It'll give the bird something to sit on too. I don't know if it'll work. And they're cheap. Well, see, these are cheaper.
We're in line at the big box store trying to get all this stuff, and I ran out of cart, as you can see. So, ran out of cart, so I'm carrying the rest of them. I think that it looks like a lot here, but when we get home, I have a feeling it's going to spread out over that big garden and it's not going to look like very much. But some of these plants get to be 2 feet around, so they'll be fine. It'll just take some time. There's the ELB, you can always shop again. So that's where we are for now. Let's see what it looks like when we get them home.
When the nice nursery opens, supplement. I'm a good helper.
Uh-huh. Should have got another one of those trays, man. Hold it while I load them. There we go. Got a whole car full. Looks like a lot in here, but I'm sure it's not. God took a whole earth to cover plants. We're gonna cover this much.
That didn't even make sense.
It didn't make sense. I'll edit that out. That was dumb.
I love you. I did.
So this afternoon, I'm gonna get out here and do some of the planting and things like that. But I also had another thought, something I've been putting off for a long time or just simply forgetting about, and that's to do some annual maintenance on something that most people just seem to forget about. So I'll work on the garden later this afternoon, but one of the things that I'm gonna do, especially since nobody is home today, I'm gonna do some of that maintenance on the water heater and drain it out and refill it, get some of the sediment out of it, shut off the water heater, The previous owner had installed a switch there. Makes it easy. I don't have to go find a breaker. Shut off the power to the water heater because I'm going to drain it out, and I don't want cold water going in there and the heater trying to keep up with it, since I'm just going to drain it out. So I'll turn off my supply and my return, open up the valve down at the bottom, and drain out the water and see how much sediment comes out of it. I can start to hear the water coming out of it. So what I'm going to do is open up my relief valve so I can get some air into the system so it'll drain out better, and then I'll go check the end of the hose and see what kind of sediment I'm getting out of it. It's after work now, and finished with the water heater. There was zero sediment in it at all, so it was one of those things that was just easy to do. Drained it, refilled it, now it's heating the water back up. So we'll test it after a while to make sure everything's working. One of the things that I noticed when I first came out here is some of the plants had fallen over from the wind. So I went to fix them and stand them back up, so you know they weren't just laying there. That happened around lunchtime, and then I came back out and this one had fallen over. But one of the things that I discovered when I did that is I moved some of the mulch around so I could make the pot not fall over. Obviously on that one I didn't do good enough. I don't know if you saw the hummingbird just fly up right there, but they like this feeder on the right better. Anyway, I came out here, and one of the things that I discovered was this mulch is nowhere near the 4 inches thick that I wanted it to be, which probably explains why I have so much left over. I may just take whatever's left over there in the pile and just start spreading it around the bed until it's full and until all of that mulch is gone. So for now, I'm just going to start planting some of these plants. The ELB has already put them in place where she wants them, and so we'll get them in the ground so we can get some water on them, because today it's supposed to be up in the 90s. That's the first time in a long time here in the Richmond, Virginia area that it's been that hot. So I'm going to get these in the ground so I can get some good water on them. Now it is warm today, but it's interesting. As soon as I came outside today, God put this really high cirrus cloud in place. I don't know if you can see that, but it's giving, I mean, it's perfect for filming. If you look at the shadows, I mean, I have a hard shadow down there, but it's still kind of softened a little bit. So that's like the perfect video shooting thing. It's got just a screen in front of the sun, which is also keeping the heat down quite a bit. But I suspect as this cloud blows over that it'll warm up, and hopefully I'll be done by then. All right, so it's definitely nice and toasty out here, but God has provided good cloud cover for the day, so that's been nice. It hasn't been... Funny, I'm working in the garden and I got dirt all over my camera. Alright, so I got all this stuff planted. There's a couple more that I missed over there by the fence, for those of you eagle-eye people out there. So I'm gonna go back and plant those. I gotta plant the border plants, these little mondo grass. So we're gonna have, the idea is to kind of have a border there when it gets grown in. So there you go, for what it's worth, our little garden. Fill all this in and get it all cleaned up. And thanks for watching. Make sure you press that subscribe button and give me a like, thumbs up. And until next time, cheers.